Hey guys, what's going on? It's Twintuitive 717. I am back with another reading, guys. I am here hanging with the saucy beaver and her baby, Maggie Lee, this little saucy beeves. So for this reading, guys, I kept hearing the message from this deck that I created. I think I made this deck last year, I want to say. And I kept hearing the message, you made me see a side of myself that needed healing. Okay, and I keep getting that message. It was like I was waking up out of my sleep and I was, sorry for the noise, guys. It's Mega playing with baby. She took baby. You guys see how she ran away? She has baby in her mouth and she just jetted across the room. But yeah, I was like waking up out of sleep, and so I knew I had to come on and share a reading about that message and use this particular deck. So that's going to be like the channeled message for today. Is like a lot of your masculines want to let you know that you are at this moment divine feminine, like your presence, your energy in their life. When they ask themselves, why the hell did you come into their life? What the whole back and forth is between you two, what is your purpose in their life? I feel like they're starting to figure it out, okay? And they're looking at themselves very deeply. There's been a lot about like sexuality that's been coming up in the energy as well for the divine masculines. And there's a lot of lessons around that coming up for you too, divine feminine. I feel that many of you are truly stepping into honoring your sacred sexuality, and you're just being very careful, and you're being very reserved at this time, and a lot of your masculines are picking up on that. Okay, I feel like because you're feeling a lot of shifts energetically, they're feeling it too. And how this is going to look is they can't be careless with intimacy anymore, okay? And I feel like that part of them has died. I don't know why, but it's like such a strong message coming through. If many of you have been getting the death card in a lot of your readings, when you think of the divine masculine, I've been talking about Kali a lot, and she is, the mother of endings so that new beginnings can occur. It's destruction, and I feel like what it's being destructed, or almost like dissected, is this intimacy between masculine and feminine is unmatched. And now that it's been experienced, it's like you two can't unfeel it. And now there's this beautiful healing energy around the sensuality with you both. Okay, so I'm going to use this deck and I'm going to find out what your masculine wants to communicate around that. Okay, so we have these bunch ready to come out right away. Okay, so I'm not ready yet, but trust me. Okay, I feel like this not ready yet has a lot to do with the healing that's happening. There's a lot of heavy energy right now. Many of you could be dreaming of your divine masculines. I actually shared this in a personal reading I did a few days ago, but I had a really weird dream that I was, I have to share this message with you guys because when I looked up the meaning of the reading, the meaning was, sexual energy that can't be contained, or like repressed sexual energy. Sorry for the congested voice and deep voice, guys. I've been like fighting off a cold for the last few days as well. But in the dream, I went to a farm. It was like almost like I was there to visit with a bunch of other people. And guys, these horses were going insane. Like the way Mega just ran across, that's what the horses were doing. But obviously horses are so like big and like magnificent, but at the same time, I was really scared because the trainers too were having a hard time, like, getting the rope and calming them down. And at one point, like, people were like, the horses were literally like running past me. They weren't attacking the people that were there, but they were just running extremely like close to us and going crazy. And my fear was that I was like, I'm going to get trampled. And so I ended up moving, seeing like a barn, and I was going towards the barn, And all of a sudden I saw this horse speeding towards me, but when it came close to me, it had the face of a man. And I'm not talking about a centaur like you would see in Xena or Hercules, you know, back in the day, the centaurs. No, it wasn't one of those. It just had the face of a man. And it ran past me, but it just missed me. Like I felt the wind and everything brush across my face. And it ran right into its stall. And the thought I had in my head and the dream was, man, that horse really needs to get laid. Isn't that so weird? And then somebody I did a personal reading with, were talking about horses. I was like, how weird is this? So there's definitely a lot of energy going on, like with like, you know, sensuality, intimacy, just connection, and really honoring that. And I feel like a lot of your masculines, they can't help but pick up on that energy as well. They can't seem to feel attracted to anybody else. I feel like a lot of your masculines too, like if they in the past, it's like all they could think about was sex, or they had like an addiction to porn. I really do feel like a lot of that stuff is coming to the forefront for a lot of the masculine collective, okay? And that's that energy that like this whole like the message I had in the dream, right? Like I need to man, that horse really needs to get laid. It's so bizarre, guys. But and also the color blue, okay, it means something. I don't know why, but the color blue is going to be significant. Maybe look it up and see what that means for you guys, or the significance of blue, because the face that I saw was of a man, but there was like blue in there. There was hints of blue in his face. But yeah, like that's what's coming up for healing right now. And a lot of you may be picking up on it. You may be feeling like, even though energetically you've moved to a place of really being able to let this connection go so that it can heal. And a lot of you have found the strength to be able to do that for the highest good, you know, not only for yourself, but just I feel like for the planet too. You know, it's like many of you know that a lot of your oh my god, I can't make this up, guys. Look at this card. I didn't even know. I thought I put the one down that I thought I put this one down, but I just noticed this card, okay? Yeah, so, you know, I lost my train of thought on that, but, you know, I just couldn't help but notice this. It's the main message right now. It's like a lot of healing coming up. Like many of you could have very well exchanged a lot of intimacy, and it's like the more you do that on this journey, okay, so it could come in the form of just like expressing to one another how you feel, and then it moves to, you know, sending saucy text messages, right? Saucy Beaver, where are you at? Right? Exchanging saucy messages, sending pictures of one another, like that stuff is intimacy too. You know, you may not be doing the act of sex, and eventually I know for many of you, like if you roll with the number 717, like there will be like physical union for you guys. Like it doesn't mean that you're going to permanently sustain. There's always going to be separation, because the separation, like it teaches us, right? But for many of you who you feel it in your heart that it's coming, like, you know, I do feel that this year many of you will experience that, but you're going to see how much it's going to teach you. Okay, so I'm also getting this card as well. I can't keep this a secret anymore. And I can't keep this a secret anymore is going to have a lot to do with just loss of interest, I'm hearing. Okay, so it's like, you know, certain connections are going to be dying out because there's just not enough chemistry to keep it going. It's like the messages I get from this deck, okay? How are the masculines feeling towards you in their heart space right now, Divine Feminine? How are the masculines feeling in their heart space for you with all of the healing that they're going through? Guys, isn't this so cute? I found this today when I was decluttering. It's just a woman on a raft wearing a sari. And there's like a bunch of fruit. It's so cute. Okay, so this is worth waiting for. We're getting flirt and soulmate. Okay, so extend your light-hearted energy to others. I feel it's like a big lesson that's coming up for a lot of the Divine Masculine collective, okay? And it's coming up for the feminines too, where it's like, you know, I think someone mentioned it in the comments the other day, but it's like, you know, having love for people and having chemistry with people, like learning how to flirt, but not involving sex as a way of demonstrating to someone how fond of them you are. It's like sometimes it's just enough to connect with someone's energy and have that be enough. Okay, so it's like almost like healing the perversion of the mind. I'm getting that message very strongly. It's like, the whole like SES thing, and like when it comes to like addiction and stuff, I feel like all of that stuff is coming up for healing. Like the masculines are recognizing that it's important to be careful with their energy. Okay, especially that energy. Okay, and I feel like soulmate, it's the idea that a lot of your masculines, I'm hearing like, did I get the short end of the stick? Like, I feel like they've been led astray. A lot of them are waking up to just wanting to experience what it's like for the first time to have a go at it, like, realize that there is another path where, you can experience, I'm hearing like commitment, okay, so true love, like, soulmate type of love, because a lot of people get it wrong, right? It's like, oh, I want that twin flame love. It's like, oh gosh, no you don't, because it's so, it's such a roller coaster ride. But soulmate love, it's very like warm and like comfortable and like comforting. And I feel like for the first time, this twin flame divine masculine is saying to themselves, like, I want to know what it's like to feel that love of like a soulmate, like finding your soulmate. Because for them, this whole twin flame thing is absurd. A lot of them may not understand, the connection. And a lot of the times for you both, it may be like very intense, which is a mix of dark and light. That's why there's so much, toxicity, and many of us go on the narcissist ride, and like, it's because twin flames are literally here to like pull up all of the lessons, with the heaviness, and help to heal it through patience and through, demonstrating, healthy boundaries. Once you have patience, it's like you allow yourself to think a little bit more, right? And patience, we can tolerate separation because now we can see the greater side of what's going on. But when you're impulsive and you too can be jealous or triggered, or, you just want your person and you want things to be figured out and you hate the karmic and, all of that drama mixed in, it's like, practice patience, because we do have worth waiting for. Many of you, I feel like, will see this over time. But it all depends on like, like how much you will surrender to the connection, divine timing, right? It's at work in your love life, but I feel like the worth waiting for, it comes along with being able to tolerate the separation. And it's painful for your masculines too. Like when you guys do go through separation, like in the last few months, I would say, like I've definitely felt, a lot of heavy energy coming from them. Like a lot of deep realizations that, like the connection is going even deeper between you both, and they never thought that they were going to end up feeling like this. Let's go ahead and get their best course of action. Oh, whoopsie. Sorry, guys. All right, so what are the masculine's best course of action right now? I know many of them are, they're going to get called to start taking up a lot of activities to help keep them busy. Okay, so we have renewal coming up, okay? So review the past and present so that you can plan a bright new future. Yeah, so that this renewal, I feel like a cleansing as well, okay? So not only like cleansing that, that deep sexual energy, but also like, eating right, eating more fruit, eating things that are alive. Because for a long time, a lot of your masculines, I feel like even the lifestyle that they live, like paying attention to the things that they consume and then understanding that it has an effect on things like their mood and their judgment and the type of people as well that they end up attracting into their life. So there's like, they're doing a little bit of rewriting of the script, okay? Understanding your life purpose. I talked about like, at the beginning of the reading, it's for many of your masculines asking that question, like, what is the purpose of you coming into their life? Like, why do you bother them so much? Like, why do you keep it's like they might feel like, they'll initiate the separation and run, but it's like, why does your soul still bother them so much? And why does it pull them to want to do the right thing all the time? Okay, so they're starting to understand that it's because it's the right thing to do. It's for the betterment of their soul. And it's like a tugging on their heart that they can't ignore sometimes. Okay, so releasing judgments of yourself and others. All right, so I feel like that's a major arcana. The best course of action for them at this time is just to, stop and review the details, review the fine print. Many of them are asking am I really where I want to be? And, the whole exchanging sensual energy with other people, they're starting to see that, that's the worst way that you can let people harvest energy from you, is through that act alone. And so that's why many of us have learned celibacy, and we've mastered celibacy, on the journey, because it's really is a form of of protection and cleansing, so that way you can really tap into the messages, because a lot of your masculines are seeing their health improve as well, as they start paying attention. I'm seeing like a faucet, I don't know why, but as they start paying attention and closing off certain ties to people, and kind of seeing what it does to their energy. All right, guys, so that's going to be the message for today. I'm going to be live tonight on hipsy.com, guys. Check me out on there. I'll be answering your questions tonight. It'll be a nice private environment for us as well. And I'd love to see you guys there. All right, so yeah, I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's reading, okay? All right, good night, guys. Bye.